Yo, gamers and gamettes, what is going on? My name is Tanek127 and welcome back to another Neverwinter PlayStation 4 video. And before we get into today's video, I got a little announcement for you guys. I want to tell you all, just get this out there before, any kind of confusion goes on. So I want to apologize for the past week because uploads have been very scarce. But hold on, wait and behold. There is a very, very good reason for that. Wink, 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 wink. I suck at winking, sorry. But yeah, so I'm going to be very busy throughout this weekend and probably a lot of next week and maybe a little bit into next week after. But I can't tell you guys why, or at least yet. I will be able to tell you eventually, but I just can't tell you yet. So but with that being said, I'm going to be just trying to do a lot of vlogging next week because doing regular. Never mind. I'm working on something else. We're just gonna leave it at that for right now. And I got other stuff, going down on the channel. So stay tuned. Trust me, you guys are gonna be really, really excited about it. But what I wanted to talk about in today's video was the state of the game stream for Neverwinter. Now this was done by the developers and the community management team: Andy Wong, Julia Fredrickson, and Thomas Foss. I knew it was Foss or Moss or something like that. But great stream, and also guys, GarlaanX, who's another good Neverwinter YouTuber, and also Nova DBZ, they have also put their initial impressions videos out on this, so be sure to check theirs out. I actually link both of theirs in the description below because they're big influencers in the Neverwinter community, and the main reason I thought that I needed to make this video is because I'm sort of the the newer guy. I haven't been, around and, just playing it as long. I'm not as, leveled up and as strong as a lot of these other YouTubers out here. I'm still on, the newer side of the fence. I have some knowledge of the game. I've brought out some few things. I've showed off some pretty good shit. But, I'm the newer guy of all, the Neverwinter YouTubers. You got Leon Knowles, you got Al's Random Kill, you got Garland, you got, there's a bunch of good ones, actually. They're all, like, fairly in that, like, 5,000 to 10,000 subscriber area, but you got so many of us guys out here that do Neverwinter content. But I'm the newer one. I'm probably the smallest one of the bunch. So I wanted to take some time and give my impressions on it. I got my hair all over my face and shit. God, I'm trying to look cute for you guys and I can't. Shit. But anyway, guys, we've done enough rambling on for the past, Jesus Christ, almost 4 minutes now. Let's talk about it. So they did a stream talking about state of the game. First off, I had one big turn off with this stream. I wouldn't even consider this stream state of the game. It's more like what's coming in the future and Q&A from our forums and community, because that's really all this stream was. Now, as of the state of the game, me personally, I think the game's doing great. I think there's a little bit more hype around the Cloaked Ascendancy expansion, just because that seems like it's going to be the second expansion that's done right. To my personal opinion, when it comes to Neverwinter doesn't start until you hit probably like the Underdark areas, Tyranny of Dragons, where you're fighting Tiamat, and then once you get into the Storm King Cylinder, because I hate how everything else is just based around like daily quests and all that stuff. So to my personal opinion, I find a lot of that stuff boring. I mean, don't get me wrong, you get boons out of it, you get great benefits, but it's just boring. You get on, you do quests, and you get off. Like who wants to do that in an MMO? I want a reason to play all day. I want to run dungeons and farm all freaking day, every day. That's what I want to do in an MMO. Now, that's just me personally, though. That's me personally. That's my preference. Whatever you guys like, then that's cool. If you agree with me, you agree with me. If you don't, you don't. No big deal. But anyway, so what they were mainly talking about a lot was future content. And the cool thing is, we can now confirm that there's going to be a mod 12 and mod 13, and actually mod 11B is on its way. They spoke about it like as if it's it's right around the corner, and mod 11 just got here on PC. And they said our guesses for mod 11 coming to console are probably right. They said we're getting really good at guessing the range. Julia even said she saw one post on the blog that was actually just a day off from the actual release date. So they know the release date for mod 11 already. So I'm going to guess mod 11 is probably finished and just going through like final test phases and stuff like that for console. If it's not completely done, it's just going through authorization with Sony and Microsoft. But you know, Mod 11 is coming soon on consoles, so you know, guys, get yourselves prepared for that. That's one thing plus. Now, another thing they talked a lot about, but I didn't see, you know, many answers harped on was PvP, and this really bothers me. And the reason this bothers me is because PvP is the #1 reason that people try to harp on this game for a pay-to-win aspect, because there's no like gear level restrictions or anything, and you know, and there's certain items, you know, you can buy out of the in-game store that, you know, that give you gear that can technically make you stronger in, you know, in the game. So it makes it look, you know, like it's that pay-to-win kind of route. And I personally think that you know, one of the suggestions that were given by the fans, you know, from the blogs and stuff like that, is PvP needs to be restricted by item level once you hit 70. There needs to be and I'm talking about, you know, hundreds. I'm not talking about, you know, thousands. I'm not talking from, you know, gear levels 2,000 to 3,000. I'm talking about, you know, one specifically for people between 2,000 and 2,500. Another one specifically for people between 2,600 and 3,000. Another one specifically for people at 3,100 to 3,600. You know, and it needs to be grouped like that. You know, because there are a vast amount of item levels in this game. Like, there are people, like, I saw a YouTube video the other day, and I didn't even realize people could hit a gear score this high. But some guy was at like 10,000. Like, I thought because the highest I've seen in the game for anybody, I think it's like 3,700, but there are people hitting 4, 5, 6, and 7,000 gear score in this game, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ! I don't even know how they're doing that, how they're obtaining it, because you guys know I'm still, you know, in like the early expansions. You know, I'm just now kind of breezing the Storm King's Thunder a little bit, so you know, I don't know about all this stuff. I'm in my mid 2000s for gear score, but it's just, you know, so PvP, I think, you know, there needs to be a lot more, you know, addressing with that. And the fact that, you know, they didn't do that kind of bothered me a little bit. Like they said, we have a few things that, you know, we're you know, that we may test in the future and stuff like that. No, we need some, when it comes to that, that's the main thing that's putting a bad impression on your game. We need to get solid answers for that. So straight up, you guys need to supply that. Another thing that, you know, I want to talk about is the mod 12 and 13 stuff. They have, you know, some prototypes for, you know, for like 1v1 PvPs and stuff like that. That's cool, but that goes back to, you know, what I was originally saying. Before you add more PvP, balance your current PvP. That's just, you know, my personal opinion. Another thing I wanted to say is they're doing one real cool thing for Mod 11B. There's going to be some type of add-on. Something's going to happen that's going to help, you know, guild strongholds and smaller guilds build their guild levels up in strongholds faster, for them to be able to, you know, handle content better as, you know, as a smaller guild, which I really think is pretty awesome. Because, you know, let's face it, say you just want to have a small guild of like 10 people. It's not impossible, but it's really hard for 10 people to, you know, to do a dragon's flight by themselves, you know. And, you know, some people don't like, you know, the massive, huge social scene of, you know, of like a giant guild with, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 500 people in it. Some people don't like that. Some people do. Like me personally, in games I'm playing now, I try to keep smaller, tighter guilds. That's just, you know, from my personal preference, and after everything I went through from being a guild leader the first time, I'm keeping my circle smaller. So, you know, I want to know that there's, you know, a solution out there for me too. So that I give them props for. That's one big thing, you know, that you know, they have coming. Another thing I want to talk to you guys about is they're actually looking into making a new class, and a new class might, keyword might, I said it on this video the third time, might be announced for Mod 13, which is, you know, a really awesome thing. Now that leads me to believe, you know, since Mod 13 will get a new class, will we finally get a level cap increase as well? Will the game finally, you know, actually advance, you know, farther, you know, some more challenging content and stuff like that? I have a feeling that Mod 13 is going to be, you know, one of those like one of those massive expansions, kind of like, you know, it's going to be like an elemental evil kind of thing. That's what I personally think Mod 13 is going to be, and I personally think, you know, it's really honestly about time for that. And, you know, I really think that, you know, they really need to step the game into that direction, because I think, you know, some fresh new content and stuff to do is, you know, really what this game needs, a breath of life. Because, you know, like I said, guys, the daily quests, and, you know, I hear a lot of people complain about it all the time, so, you know, I know I'm not by myself on that, but the daily quests are just getting added to people, you know, and they need something it needs something to do. You know, if I'm doing quests, you know, I want to feel like I'm actually getting something out of it. You know, whether it's XP items or, you know, or whatever, you know, boon farming and, you know, stuff like that, and doing dailies. That stuff takes weeks and months, and, you know, they're just so tedious. And, you know, a lot of this stuff, you know, just it goes into, you know, the things I've been saying previously. But another good thing that they harped on, and probably, you know, the last thing I want to talk about, is they talked a lot about, you know, upcoming class balancing, which is a good thing. And I mean, it's not exactly fixes for PvP, but in all reality, guys, it is a step in the right direction. It is, you know, a help and, you know, an assistance. It'll make things, you know, more fair and balanced. Because, you know, I do think there's, you know, a few classes that need to be buffed in PvE. Personally, like me personally, you guys might find me a little crazy, but I think the nerf that the Scourge Warlocks, and I think it was the Scourge Warlock. It was either the Scourge Warlock or the Control Wizard that they got last year. I personally think that was terrible. To my personal opinion, in all MMOs, mages are powerful. They are devastating AoE firing machines. If they are that in their game, then the job's done right. That's what they're supposed to be. That's the price you pay for things like cast time, being so squishy with, you know, defense and stuff like that. You do a crap ton of damage to a lot of people around you. That's how I think mages are, you know, supposed to be. Like in real life, when you see a mage, chances are you think of a guy with a robe on wearing a cane. Well, that robe, you know, a sword or something can pierce through it easily. He doesn't have much defense, but that cane spell, you know, if he decides to drop lightning on your head, that's going to fuck you up. Am I right or wrong? But, you know, that's one thing I do see. You know, I think, you know, a few classes need a little bit more buffs, you know, especially in the attack and defense area. I personally think Hunter and Ranger could use a bit more defense. That's just my personal opinion. So I'm honestly glad to see them do that. But other than that, guys, and the thing that bothers me the most about this little conference is they just didn't talk much about, you know, helping the current state of the game, or how the game's doing right now. It was just all about, you know, like future stuff. Like I said, this podcast, or, you know, whatever, or live stream, you know, whatever you want to consider, it really should have been called Q&A and the future of Neverwinter, not state of the game, because it really didn't, you know, talk anything about, you know, like the current state of the game. They touched on that for maybe 2 or 3 minutes at the beginning, and then after that it was just everything else, you know, like what's coming and stuff like that. But the one thing I will conclude from all this is it does look like Neverwinter is heading in the right direction. Like, from what I see with the Cloaked Ascendancy, you know, first off, the trailer alone, you could tell it's, you know, something more lively, something different. But, you know, the way they did content and stuff like that, and the freedom it gives you, and, you know, the fact that, you know, they brought in like a skirmish that, you know, changes up all the time, you know, gives variety, gives you a reason to run that dungeon all the time. That's the kind of stuff we need to see in, you know, these MMOs and stuff like that. So Neverwinter, if any of you devs are watching this by any chance, community managers, you know, whatever, that's a good thing. Thumbs up, bravo. You guys are heading in the right direction. But me personally, I would just like to see some more things, you know, to address the current state of the game. Current state of the game now, you know, like tossing, you know, some new dungeons here and there and stuff like that. And I know a lot of you you community managers and devs have, you know, seen me tweet it and stuff like that all the time. Neverwinter needs some serious upgraded rating content. You know, I'm talking 10, 15, 20 man dungeons. I don't mean some stupid, you know, spongy boss that, you know, you fight with 10 other players. No, I'm talking a big dungeon with 4, 5, 6 bosses in it with 10 plus people that's going to take at least an hour to clear. That's what I want to see pop up in Neverwinter. Me personally, I would love to see that. You guys let me know what y'all think. So this is a message to the devs. Pretty good job on the state of the game. Like I said, I'm excited about all the future content with it. I just personally want to know, you know, like, that's the future. What are y'all going to do to satisfy us now? That's what I want to know. But anyway, guys, if y'all enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that thumbs up button for me. And I want to thank you all so much for watching. It's your boy, Tanek127. And please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys.